Chit chat with QT. 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 Chit chat with QT.
Hey, one more again, guys. One more again.
Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. With QT. Chit chat 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 with QT.
Hey, Margot. I hope that's how I pronounce it, from Toronto. Hello to each and every one of you. Veronica Monroe. Hey, Veronica. Let me get this banner going. If you guys can please hit the like button, I would appreciate it. You guys know how. Oh, LaDawn, I'm glad you're here. LaDawn, I want you to click the link in a minute. You guys know how it is with Power Hour. I cannot, unfortunately, say hello to everyone, but hello. Shout out to the cutie mods, Linda Gamble, LaDawn, Aunt Debbie, my sis, Pink Diva in the building, and Tyra. Gonna swallow you up, child, if you get out of pocket in the chat. Shout out to the cutie mods. Shout out to the cutie crew. Cutie crew, awesome discussion last night. And I'm gonna touch on what we spoke about last night. But let me say this: I almost didn't make it, child. I've been swamped at work. They swallowed me up, okay, all this morning. But I want to come to you guys today with a quick hot topic discussing Shaunie O'Neal. And then we're going to get into a discussion, actually, what the cutie crew discussed last night. And that was the video from Mr. Funky Dineva and everybody's thoughts on it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it, guys. 176 of you watching, and I'm rushing because I do want to have LaDawn to click the link so you guys can get a peek into how it is when the cutie crew come together, even if there may be some not disagreements, but I guess even if we don't agree with each other all the time. Sheila Williams. Sheila, I'm looking at my phone and you said, do you guys have info on how to register for MeloCon? And you are so confused. In our Let Loose Live Saturday night, it was said that the dates and all of that have been released for the MeloCon. weekend in Atlanta, and I'm not gonna release the dates because I did reach out to my little sis trending, and it looks like maybe there may be some revisions going on or something like that. So the event was removed from Eventbrite. I had checked it, I put in Atlanta, nothing came up, and that's when I reached out to trending. So it looks like the event may have been removed temporarily, and I'm sure when Mel is ready, she will go ahead and release that thing. So hope I answered your question when it comes to that. Before I get into this child's about to say members only live, this power hour, let me also say this. Now, I will be discussing Mel a tad bit more in this video, but let's start off first with you guys should know by now that Mel and Lauren are coming out with a makeup line. I'm not sure if it's just a lip gloss or whatever, but I missed Mel's live yesterday. But I was told that there will be an announcement about that in 2 weeks. So keep your eye out open for that. But everybody want to talk about filters, child. And Mel said this was a fresh face, fresh face. I may not have that all in this screenshot. Oh, yeah, there it is. Hashtag no filter. Let me say this about filters. Look, if the young girls, 18, 20, can throw on a filter, I ain't making no qualms, no beefs, no nothing when it comes to anybody that choose to use one when it comes to social media, whether you do it or not. But Mel has always shown, and honestly, for me personally, I love Mel's complexion when she don't have on no makeup. Sometimes she go live with no makeup. And yes, 7th Avenue, baby. Speaking of this new logo, it seems like it's new. To me, it's the first time I've seen it. That 7th Avenue work. I am a stickler for the cleanser. I'm not gonna keep saying it. If you haven't tried it, make sure to do so. My testimony regarding that is light and airy, and it works. It really does. So I've been using it now for maybe 6 to 8 months. I have to go through my email, see when I ordered that little bundle, but that's my fave. But anyway, I wanted to touch on that. So in case any of you guys are asking, a couple weeks is, it's my understanding that the official announcement will be made when it comes to the makeup line. And Lauren does her thing, baby. Does her thing, okay? Let's get into Shaunie O'Neal real quickly. Shaunie O'Neal Chow and her husband, Keon Henderson, they've been catching a lot of flack these past couple days. We know the big hoopla when it comes to Keon shushing a parishioner, shushing a parishioner, and it falls right into line of this discussion. Some people felt like he was out of pocket. Some people felt like he wasn't. You know, they say that lady been hooping and hollering for 4 years, and Keon had had enough. My thoughts again, real quick. I wish he would have had a usher to usher her tail right on off that stage, and then told her backstage how he felt. But hey, his church, his business. But when it comes to Shaunie and what she is receiving flack for, it is this headline right here. Shaunie said that she don't know if she was ever in love. On Debbie, we missed you last night. In love with Shaquille O'Neal, the father of her children. And look, Shaunie has, let me go here. I don't know if it'll change on your screen, maybe not. But Shaunie released a book. I think the book was released yesterday, Tuesday, yes, May 7th, called Undefeated: Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms. So this is cover number 1 by Fair Use and the copyright statute. And in that book, she said a whole lot of things. And the reason why she's catching flack again is because of her giving her own account and her truth that she really don't know if she was ever in love with Shaq. We know that they had 4, 5 babies, all of that good stuff. But people on social media trying to dog out, child, they saying that you love that money though, didn't you? You love that lifestyle, didn't you? Really? MZE Barstar said, I never thought she was in love with Shaq either. Really? Well, you know what? That's a personal thing. So on the outside looking in, a lot of us can look at situations other than our own relationships, marriages, or whatever, and we can definitely do that. Give our thoughts or opinions, or that don't look real. She with him for the money or whatever. But the reason why I wanted to touch on that because, as I mentioned, folks are upset with Shaunie just like they were, and some still are, upset with Mel, giving her thoughts on Mr. Martell Holtz not pleasing her, not making her have or experience the big O. So, what I feel when it comes to Shani and Mel, you know, and other women possibly, um, a lot of women don't know what they're missing until they receive it. So Shani is married again to Keon, and maybe that's what made her realize I couldn't have been in love with Shaq based on this love that I'm experiencing right now. And as Mel said, when it comes to the big O, she ain't know what she was missing until she got it. Okay. And way back in my day, child, I can relate. All right. We've had discussions like that in our cutie crew members only. And yeah, it happens. Every time a man do what he do, it's just not a home run, okay, out the ballpark. Some of them don't know what they doing and never learn what to do. My cutie crew sisters told me, look, you better tell these men what they need to do, where they need to go. And I told you guys, I got a whole lot of mouth, but in the bedroom, I'm really, not like that. And I think I do regret it. My big sister has always said a lot of these women need to quit faking and let these men know. My big sister told me that years ago because it's not their ego, such as Mr. Martell Holtz, think they shutting it down, child. Think they shutting it down. So that was the relation for me and what Shani said. Maybe she didn't experience the true feeling of being in love. And I don't feel like it's anything wrong with her coming out and again telling her story. Her story. But speaking of the big O, when it comes to Mel, we spoke about that last night in our Cutie Crew members only because of what Funky Dineva had to say in his video that he released. He felt like, and those that were in members only, y'all know my what I had to say about it, and I'll say it again. But he felt like Mel shouldn't have said that to Martell. And I said, no, sir. That's her truth. And if Mel kept quiet about any and all things that could trigger Mr. Martell Holt, she will be silenced for the rest of her damn life. What don't trigger Martell? Can they let me know? What don't trigger Martell? So no, as I said last night, we all should speak our truth. That's just on period. And if you have to, if you got a fool on your hand, such as Martell or anybody else, yes, Venus, she'd be mute, child. She'd be mute. But if you happen to have a fool on your hand, adjust accordingly. Meaning, do as Mel did. Look, if I speak my truth, I may need security when it comes to this fool. If I go ahead and do what needed to be done as far as putting that warrant out on his ass, I may need to up my security. So yeah, you take measures, but no, you don't stay silent for nobody. Nobody. And look, as I said last night, if that was the case, that's to Funky or anybody else, Martell has said out of his own mouth, she don't satisfy me. You guys remember that classic glass throw at the Fletcher's home. And baby, I wish it would have connected. Do you hear me? I still wish that would have connected right there on Martell's head. But the reason why that glass was thrown is the man saying, she satisfied me. You don't. So no, men can't just go ahead and say what they want to say. And women got to be quiet because it may trigger. F the trigger. But let's go ahead and get into what the Cutie Crew and I discussed last week. First, I want to say, L'Oreal and Good Bad Apple Child, y'all fell asleep right there on that panel. We was on live until damn near midnight Eastern time, but they fell asleep, child. But in our members only last night, guys, there was again, there was awesome discussion. There was also some chin checking. Okay. And look, we all should throughout our lifetime period. Aquarius, you can't put that in the chat, child. YouTube flagged it, and I'm gonna go ahead and hide it. Oh, somebody got you before I did. Ooh, child. But anyway, we all should be men, women, whatever, actively be learners. Learn, be able to listen and be able to learn from other people. When it comes to my thoughts and views, I've never professed to know it all. Okay. And I think that that's why we all should be on YouTube. Number one is to share our thoughts, our opinions, even if they differ at times from others. There are some women and men that are older and wiser, there are some that are younger and smarter. And for me, that is the beauty of having open discussions and all of that. In a perfect world, we all would agree. And lead me to the perfect world, child. Perfect world, perfect credit, perfect everything. Lead me there. But this love and maritime spill shit is deep. It's deep. It's been and still is a roller coaster for a lot of us. The show has toyed with our emotions damn near on a daily basis, and not just the show. Hey, Chronicles of Kim K, but what's not shown on the show as well. So as I said in my video last night, I can still appreciate some of the things that Funky Dineva said. Number one, the checking of Martell Holt, the calling out of Martell Holt. Number one, never ever being concerned about the welfare of his children. The calling out of Nell Fletcher, the calling out of Kiki, all of the above. Um, and I said in my video yesterday, as the season go on, that may change. Some things may change. Um, but we also noticed that there was no calling out of the Scots. So the side eye cocked. The side eye is cocked. Um, the chin checking for me, at least that's what I felt last night from the sisters and the brothers, a part of the Cutie Crew, is that it is necessary. It is necessary. And look, I can't say if Mel will ever forgive Funky Dineva for calling her a bitch, calling her a hoe or whatever. I remember bitch when he came out after Marceau, but I don't think she will ever forgive that. That's my opinion. But I've already told you guys, I don't even get down with the bitch and the hoe, even if it's in jest. even if some may see it as a term of endearment. I don't. I just don't play like that. I even sometimes have to check myself if I let it slip when I'm live with you guys or giving commentary. I stay away from it for that very reason. So even again, it appears that Funky Dineva issued an apology. I highly doubt again if Mel will ever forgive that. um Forgiveness is for the person. I'm just on the outside looking in. I can't say, but I wouldn't, or even if you do forgive, you will never ever forget. And I just think that that's probably where Mel is going to stand. We also discussed last night that hell no, we doubt if Mel ever give him a second interview. Not gonna happen. And why? No. So, there are some things that you can pull and then you can leave some shit right where it is. That's how I view anybody contents. You letting this conditioner sit in. Okay, Tyra. Yeah, Cheryl. But even with that, that is her decision. I doubt it. I doubt it. But those of us that's been born and raised in the church, child, and know the Bible and all of that, it is, you know, said that we should forgive, if not for us. If not for them, for ourselves. So either way, I don't think it's gonna happen. But look, this is why we all have these panels and open discussions, because what I may not pick up on, some of you do. And a few of us, again, in our discussion last night, appreciated the shit that we picked up, and then we discussed the things that we left. Lord have mercy, sis. Ooh, child. I just got your text message. Good God Almighty. Uh, but look, my side eye, you guys have heard me say this time and time again. My side eye stay cocked so much, I'm damn near cross-eyed. Okay? And this is what I think when it comes to Funky Dineva. If he ventures off, for instance, what he said about Martell may be affected. I don't think a lot of us are going to run over there and watch, even when it comes to his YouTube channel. It can be operated the same way we are operating as far as having a watch party and discussing it on Patreon. A lot of people not feeling what he had to say. A lot of women, especially, has not felt what he's had to say for quite some time. But again, the side eye is out. Now, LaDon, this is why I mentioned you. LaDon, let me know if you at work, sis. Let me know if you are at work, because if you're at work, you probably can't click the link. I just wanted you to come up and give your thoughts about two things can be true. You mentioned that. And then Good Bad Apple is the reason why I have is Carlos Kang using Funky Dineva to be his voice for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I know Good Bad Apple may be at work as well. Look at me. I know y'all schedules and everything, child. Um, where was I? Where was I? In our discussion last night, I had LaDon as well as Good Bad Apple, who has some awesome points of view. Good Bad Apple said, could Carlos King be using Funky Dineva to go at Martell Holt to eventually cut ties with Martell and fire him? Interesting conversation we had about that. Look, we know that Carlos King has been Martell Holt's ride or die, number one rider, in my opinion. And we know also that Martell's ass should have been fired long time ago. We know that Carlos has showcased Martell since Martell started this show, led him around Atlanta from place to place, from interview to interview. And he continues even in the previews of this season to show Martell as this ladies' man. But in respecting everyone's opinion, I have to say that Good Bad Apple, in my opinion, could definitely be on to something. Again, side eye cocked, but we really won't know until we see how this season plays out. But let's just say that Carlos did put a bug in Funky Dineva's ear, that he is using him for whatever reason to go after Martell, to go after Mel, to try to bump up Funky Dineva's channel and all of that. What I will say is this: Funky Dineva's critique of Martell Holt, in my opinion, guys, does not, okay, sis, I'm gonna drop the link for you, LaDon, does not play into Carlos helping Martell. If we going off of what he said about Martell, which, in my opinion, I didn't detect not one lie. The things that was said was the things that we've been saying and yelling and screaming probably for 4, 5, 6 years. So I don't see how that would benefit Carlos. I don't know. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see. But that was an interesting ball that was thrown out there that was kind of in the left field from Good Bad Apple. And look, I put this text on the screen for a reason. I think that the love that Carlos has had all this time, I think either it's shifting or shifted. Now, it should have a long time ago if Carlos is a stand up guy based off of Martell's actions when it comes to Melody Cherie. I saved that picture. Um, I see you, LaDon. This is for LaDon, guys, and then I gotta go to the dealership when I get off of work. But hopefully we can have a discussion. Oh, child. What's tomorrow? Thursday night. All of us. Hold on, LaDon. Let me go ahead and finish this. I think that Carlos's love and adoration when it comes to Martell is shifting, and it should have been shifted for all of them. We're not saying that, I don't know what I'm saying comes to how other people feel about Martell, but for me, Martell has proven damn near to everybody that he can care less about them all. But I think this text message or this message that Martell put on the internet last year, I think this really struck a nerve with Carlos. Because in this, he called Carlos a lie. He said that, they are actors. And he said that Carlos called him. Now, from the clip of the podcast, I wasn't there, but um that could be true. Be true. Listen to that. That could be true. Be true. Again, we won't know, but our ass has been on the streets as well as the show for quite some time. So, however it turns out to be, we gonna see it. But this is my thing. Carlos was called out. He said that Martell was lying, and now I really got to say, was Martell lying? I wasn't at the podcast in Huntsville, but I saw the clip where Carlos said, and that was a lie. I did not tell him to take her flowers. And then he spoke on Martell ruining the integrity of his producers, Kingdom Reign, and all of that. So I don't know. We're gonna have to keep our eye out on that. This conversation last night stemmed from Good Bad Apple saying that maybe it could be that Funky Dineva is being used as a mouthpiece in more ways than one. And time will tell, child. Like I said last night. We also broke down last night the starting point of the disrespect when it comes to Funky Dineva. Now, I have 2 videos that I did, maybe 3. Hey, Justice, pointing out Number one, when Funky Dineva came out with that YouTube Funky Dineva Achievement Award or whatever. And even when I made that video the following morning, I think it was, a lot of people felt like, oh my goodness, I'm glad that he did. Then a lot of us was like, don't nobody give a damn about no Funky Dineva Award. But that is when he came out the very next day. And I believe his exact words was, I don't like that bitch or whatever. Um, the very next day, after Maurice put that battery in his bag. So I called him out then. I also called him out way back in the day but I made a video after I started my channel when he was on Tasha K. And they had Storm Monroe as well. And they was listening to that phone call that Tasha had recorded of Coleslaw. And I think a lot of folks, including Funky Dineva, including the cast, they really felt like Martell was the brains. Martell was the moneymaker. All of the above. So even in that video with Tasha K and Storm Monroe, it seemed like Funky Dineva just knew Mel was going to fail. And I'm gonna pull that video. Maybe we'll try to listen or do something on Patreon with it. But at that time, I remember her saying that she was gonna have a hard time getting on her feet. She was gonna have a hard time when it comes to having children, all of that. I think a lot of them really, really wanted her to fail. And look, they were eating crow. Maybe that's a good word, that because what I was about to say ain't good. They had to eat their words. Let me just say it that way. Martell is not the breadwinner, and Mel's actions. As I said last night in our Cutie Crew Members Only Live, her actions, her movements, and her success after that divorce made a lot of them look like damn fools. So we know Mel will never forget it, but a lot of us will never forget it. Before I bring up LaDon, but I am gonna say again, if this man comes out and say I was lying about how I felt about Martell, I know I made that video, and yeah, a lot of times you will get clickbait, you will get this, you will get that. Keep your sad act cocked and walk around looking like me, like Biggie Smalls, child. One eye, no, it's not, but it could go air which way. Keep your eyes cocked when it comes to that. But I still will appreciate number one and the main thing for me, the calling out, especially when it comes to Martell Holt. Ain't no coming back from that. You can't come back and say, no, he should have called. No, Mel shouldn't have had him arrested. I know I said she should have. Or no, he did care for his kids when he was married. No, all that shit stands for me. Okay. But lastly, LaDawn, you spoke on let me say this again, such an amazing, amazing discussion that we always have when it comes to our Cutie Crew Members Only Live. And a lot of times, right here on YouTube, in front of the scenes, even if you're not a Cutie Crew member, we've had some great discussions. Last night, LaDawn said, now LaDawn's side eye is cocked too, chap. But she also said two things can be true, meaning I could appreciate the calling out part, but LaDawn said, that's it, that's all. Okay. And also that she believes that there may be some ulterior motives. And we respect that. I'm going to say this again and I'm going to let LaDawn speak. I'm doing excellent on time. When it comes to all of us guys on YouTube, again, I don't know every damn thing, and I can't feel what any of you guys feel. But I do think for the most part, all of us damn near rocking on the same team. All of us. And if you just so happen to have a sister or a brother that may not articulate what you're trying to say or in the way that you want to say it, or if it's completely different than yours, it is okay to chat. It is okay to have a debate. You guys know I have, baby, love me some good debates. I love it. But it's also okay to show some grace to your counterparts, to the people that's out here, out in these streets. Again, most that are rocking together when it comes to the issues and the things that we've seen when it comes to love and marriage Huntsville. I have on this is it, I woke up with this on my mind. And Bev G, Bev, if you listening, I told you guys, Bev G sends me inspirational quotes and Bible verses and just beautifulness every day. And before I do anything outside of my own reading my daily scriptures and all of that, before I do anything on social media, I go to Instagram and look for Bev's message for the day. And this is what she sent me this morning. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. So I just wanted to put that up there. Thank you again, Bev. And I already let you know. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All of the above. But when it comes to how we operate, they already child trying to cause issues when it comes to, in their words, the cults, in their words, the hate group. Have some grace when it comes to each other. A united front, if you will. There's a lot of channels that I don't frequent. And there are a couple that I do. And I really do that for my peace of mind, child. But everybody got a right to a voice, their opinions and all of that. LaDon, when you mentioned, and shout out again to you guys that's joining me. I will highlight some comments and read them. First of all, shout out to Tanisha for joining the Cutie crew. Thank you so much, Tanisha. You missed an awesome members only live last night. Make sure to go back, child, and replay. Yes, Carmen, encouraging words. You know what I mean? And I am not quick to anger. Now, when I get there, it's something else. But sometimes I just peep game and move accordingly. And I think that that's what we need to do. I also have grace for people, even in my comment section, where they may not agree with me. There was a lot of you guys in that video last night that was hell no, hell no. And again, I picked up what I wanted to pick up out of that live, and I left all the other shit again because we know as women how words affect you. And as I said, I don't play the bitch game. I don't care who you are or the whole game. I just don't do it. I'm not gonna say it to you. I'm not gonna say, LaDawn, hey bitch. No, that's just not how I operate. So it's really different for me when it comes out the mouth of a man dating me, married to me, no matter what. Don't you ever call me that. Don't do it. Because that's grounds for a phone call to them boys. So, them boys is my answer to a lot. But LaDawn, let me stop yapping. Thanks for joining me, sis. I'm glad you were off. Glad you ain't fall asleep on us last night, child. But I wanted you to touch a little bit more on what you had to say because I think that when it comes to a lot of discussions that we have, we're never saying, no, you're wrong. You're wrong to feel that way. A lot of times, two things can be true, meaning my feelings may stand on this side, your feelings may stand on that side, but we're going to have this discussion and we're going to talk it through. The two things that you mentioned last night when it comes to Funky Dineva was, yeah, you can appreciate the shit that he said when it comes to calling folks out, but that side eye, and maybe that's not your words, that's mine. That side eye remains. Give us your thoughts, sis, out in the open from behind closed doors.
Yeah, Chit Chat, I agree with you 100%. Everything he said about that knucklehead and that side was the truth. Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
later or now, it was the truth, and it needed to be out there. It needed to come from other people rather than male supporters or mellometers, because that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Normal people don't speak up. It's wrong. It don't matter if it's happened to Mel, Keisha, or Regina. The behavior is wrong. And when people don't call it out because of the dislike for a person, that's where the lines are blurred to me. So I agree that what he was saying about them. I don't think his apology was sincere, because in the same breath he still wanted to make her feel
Mm-hmm.
like she caused some of this. So I say that to say, yes, we should give people grace. Yes, forgiveness is important in our lives, but everybody don't deserve the forgiveness at the time just because they said it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because your
Mm-hmm.
words got to match your action. So you
That's
could
right.
say sorry, even with God, He will mock you in your own calamity.
Oh,
Even if
baby.
you say sorry and be on your knees begging to God,
Mm,
if God don't feel like that apology is sincere, He will be on deaf
that's
ears as
right.
if He never heard you.
That's
So
right.
me not
Change
giving
behavior.
him exactly. So in the same conversation, he damned her. So I can't take your apology as heartfelt if you still got that little nudge in you about her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said what I said, but I agree. More people that are just not male supporters, that just really got morals and values, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what it all comes down to at the end. It's not about having difference of opinion. Your opinion is based on your moral compass. So if your opinion
Mm.
and your morals are low vibrational, then guess what? I don't agree with you. I ain't part of your tribe, and I ain't going over there. It's simple as that. I'm not gonna harass you. I'm not gonna stalk you. I'm not gonna say hateful things.
Yeah.
Those are the fanatics. But I ain't going over there, not even
Mm-hmm.
for a little word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent point, sis. And you know I'm gonna come back to you, but let me say that about that. Let me tell you how the cuties get down. And this one is a local, live in Huntsville, and it's a couple people. We discussed that as last night. She is a mellometer, okay? And she's a cutie crew sis as well. I'm not gonna say her name, but I wanted possibly the tea with my nose ass. I'm a content creator. I wanted to be able to have some tea when it comes to that sit down or whatever appearance that Funky and Maurice announced a couple weeks ago. And you guys know we talked about this in Cutie Crew membership a couple weeks ago. And I asked her, I said, child, look, I am willing to pay for your ticket and your daughter. Go get the tea. For instance, if they there talking shit about mail, I wanted to be able to get. Ooh, sure, child. I'm trying to be nice this morning. I was about to say get done good, you know. But if I got the tea on that, I wanted to be able to come live and say this what they said. She's so strong. She said, "No, ma'am, I can't do that. There will be zero showing up for me." And guess what I
Hmm.
had to do? Respect that. Number
Hmm.
one, there are a lot of people that are um because some of them have reached out to me. They live right there in the city. You know what I mean? And they don't sway either way. And me, I just gotta respect their opinion on that. But
Right.
word always gets out anyway. And look, that was a sister again. I've been talking about chin checking. I know you want the tea, but I can't do that. I can't do that. I had to respect it. And guess what? For me, the tea ain't worth it. I didn't say, let me go ahead and go to somebody else and see if they that live there gonna go. No, I needed to hear that. So, LaDawn, you're right. There's a certain way that I try to operate as well. Because again, they already trying to put out here extremists, hate groups, this, that. And if I don't agree with some shit, I just don't agree with it. I keep it moving. And if it's to the
Hmm.
extreme, I just move on completely. Okay. And but I appreciate you saying that. I also appreciate you standing on your square to be unmoved. Hey, Neva P, we missed you last night. Unmoved. Um,
But you know what, Chit Chat?
time shall take. Mm-hmm.
You're right about I look at us as a force, right? And we all play our position and it all comes
Mm-hmm.
together. So I need you to watch the show. I need you to be in, have your ears open, because I trust your judgment and I can lead off of that. That's why I chose to give you my views and watch the show under your umbrella instead of give it to them. I still need to be involved, but I know that I got people that are in place that is going to, bring it back, so that we need to put it together and be the force that we are.
Mm. Look, it's heavy. It's heavy. As I said at the start of this live, this show is triggering and has triggered a lot of us. And I also said that I understand those that are blacking it out completely, because in the end, it is your mental health that you have to protect. So if it affects you in a way, for me, I cannot turn a blind eye. I'm just sorry. And even when
Mhm.
it comes to the Funky Dineva coming out and speaking and seemingly being for, I can't turn a blind eye to that as well. You know what I'm saying? I watch for everybody. No, nobody got to go over there and get the views. But if and when those thoughts change, we gonna call them out on it. That's just it. That's
Mhm.
all. Not that we
Mhm.
care that much. So as I stated, for those, I ain't telling nobody to run and watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I ain't telling nobody to run and watch Funky Dineva. Shit gonna always float up sometimes. Ew, that's nasty. But that's what it is. And I cannot turn a blind eye when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville. I will say this, and it is a promise. If Mel leaves, my content stops. They can call it what you wanna, they can do this or do that. And the reason how I've come to that conclusion is no one else has been able to show empathy, sympathy, none of the these when it comes to Melody Cherie. So why would I continue to watch Marceau, Tisha, Kimmy, Maurice? Why? Why? That, the buck will stop. So but while she's there, while Mel is showing up, I'm just showing up. That's just it. That's all. And I will show up for you all. We're gonna get that watch party. The way I was sharing it, I figured out that I was sharing it through StreamYard. I don't know. I work it out before Saturday. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I got to get the kinks worked out for that. But even if I don't get the kinks worked out for the watch party, support the other content creators that have live watch parties right on Patreon, and we still letting loose. And I know, and that's why I came up with that Let Loose Lounge. I know that there will be something to let loose about every week based on the history. Based on the history. What else? What else, Ladon? Shoot, I had something else that we talked about last night. The calling out of Martell when it comes to my kids. You're gonna do this in front of my kids. Now, way back, way back in January when Martell was arrested, I said then that how convenient the day that the show started filming, the producers were there, the cameras were there. That just so happened to be the day that Martell found out about this paperwork. It was a scheme. At that time, we didn't know that the children were with him. But based off of Mel and Marcus's conversation, that too was a scheme. That he took his kids with him to turn himself in. He did that
Mhm.
purposely. And again, I'm going to appreciate what Funky Dineva said about that. Because no, sir, you didn't care about them kids when you was cheating. You wasn't caring about Mel when you was putting her through pain. You didn't care about them kids when you plopped that baby in their lap. You haven't cared about them children since, because you won't even let them have some sense of normalcy and peace. So he never gave a damn about his kids in that way. Do I think he loved his kids? Yeah, I can say that I think that Martell loved his kids, but when we say love, that we can use that when we're talking about being married or when we're talking about being in relationships. Love is an action word for me. I don't know about nobody else. So if your actions don't line up with you loving me, you don't love me. So that's questionable. But LaDon, we have about 6 minutes left. Your thoughts on, do you really think it was a setup? Do you think he took them kids up there on purpose? Do you think that Mama Holt just so happened to get the call and just so happened to get there in a couple minutes and just so happened to take them kids, didn't even call a mama? What are your thoughts about that? We discussed it last night and a couple days ago, but give us your thoughts since Funky Dineva brought that up as well.
I definitely think it was a setup because you know my past. I've been in some situations in my days,
Mm-hmm.
and when they put out a warrant, whether it's a personal warrant or a straight warrant, you get notified, whether it's through the mail or they roll up on you, or, like if you get pulled over or something like that. But they send that
Mm-hmm.
paper in the mail that you have a warrant and you need to turn yourself in or you take a chance, but you get notified. There's no such thing as you don't get notified. It's not like you're trying to serve somebody and they have a process server or something. No,
Mm-hmm.
so he
Mm-hmm.
knew about it and he planned it just the way he planned it,
Mm-hmm.
and for him to leave his kids in the car to go run and do a pay, the whole thing was fishy because that's not what a
Yep.
responsible parent does. We
That's
wait
right.
till our kids go to school or daycare to run
Mm-hmm.
certain errands that pertain to government and
Mm,
business stuff like that. Grocery store will take them. Walmart will take them. But usually we handle
mhm,
those type of businesses during school hours. So
mhm.
it all
Good
makes me
point.
feel like it's a plot, and then again, cameras there. You can't film the kids,
Yeah.
so why would you plan to do a filming scene in a car with kids that can't be shown?
Mm.
It
Mhm.
doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Doesn't make sense. So
I
I
agree.
think it's definitely a setup. I think everybody is scrambling to try to clean up some mess. They're nervous because this is going to be make or break it. This is the season of make or break it to me.
Mhm.
And Carlos got
Child,
too much pride to admit that the fans got him
that
shook.
was the case. Uh-huh.
That's why he's
Carlos want to
using
be. Go ahead.
that's why he's using the likes of other people,
A
other
funky
content
dynamic.
creators to do their dirty work, his dirty work, because he can't admit that he know the fans are important.
Mhm. Well, he needs to admit it because that's with any show. Without fans, what do you really have?
That's right.
And you guys know all of our. I think this is something that the majority. I'm gonna address you in a second, Tandra, whoever you are. But all of us know that Carlos wouldn't even have the success that he have now, if we want to look at it that way, when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville or any other show or any other endeavor that he has now. I'm not trying to downplay his abilities, but we know what spearheaded that. What spearheaded that was Love and Marriage Huntsville. Because after that,
Mhm.
that opportunity that he had with Real Housewives of Atlanta and all of that was gone. Now, Tandra, real quick, I was gonna say something else, but I want to address Tandra. Tandra, who you talking to? Girl, I hope you're on her payroll. I ain't gonna block you, and I'm gonna respect your opinion, but I would love an answer. Who you speaking to? And we'll give Tandra a second or two. Let me start this. Tandra Shaw. Drop down in the comments, child. Let me hold on, Ladon. Let me go down to the bottom of my phone. This is the problem with me. Yes, Tyra. That's what I want to know. What you mean, Tandra? We know you still here, girl. Go ahead and say what you gotta say with your chest. Because that's how I believe in disagreements. No, I ain't talking to you on no phone or behind the scenes. We're gonna talk right here. Who you talking to? I'm waiting. I still don't see Tandra. Um anyway, as I mentioned, there has been but people like that, if you happen to be talking to me or anybody over here, Tandra, I hope you on somebody's payroll as well. Matter of fact, if you own payroll, go ahead and get back to work. Okay. That's what you can do. But people like you, Tandra, are the reason why a lot of us have used our voice, payroll or not, and nobody is on anybody's payroll, but it's people like you that won't even address the real. So if you want to drop down, talk about the real. If you want to talk shit, take it somewhere else. But if you ain't here for the real, and your real don't even have to match up with my real, that was the whole point of this discussion, because there were some that was split down the middle. I ain't falling for that shit at all. There was some that appreciated what the man had to say as far as when he called out, especially for me. I don't really give a damn about Nail Kiki and whoever else he called out. Here for hot tea. But we appreciated that and we left the other bullshit there. So Tandra, I'm gonna leave you where you are. Okay. So I see you didn't drop back down. So now what I'm gonna do before I go back and clock in and on my payroll, I'm gonna take the opportunity to scroll up and go ahead and block your ass. Okay. Cause I ain't in the mood for the likes of you. I ain't in the mood for people that act like everybody crazy. We ain't seen what we seen all these years. We haven't seen what we seen on social media. Everybody crazy. Child, let me write down the name because I'm scrolling. Shout out to you guys. There's so many comments. I can't even get to Tandra. Did Tandra drop down? Because I gotta go. Did Tandra drop down? Anybody see Tandra in the chat? Now, Tandra, I had to take a whole comment last week and make a whole video, and I will do that. I will do that. We keep it cute over here. You know, you definitely got a right to your opinion, but keep it cute. All right? Nobody is on anybody's payroll. Okay? That's content creators, whether they are in support of male or not. When it comes to content creators, the work that you put in is how you get paid. If you don't put in no work, you ain't getting paid. That's just it. That's all. Hey, ADR. Child, Tandra ain't gonna mess up the rest of my day. I don't see her. Maybe one of the mods didn't got a child. Mods, did y'all get her? If not, I wrote down the name and I shall search these YouTube streets and I will definitely find her to block her. But I was just seeing if Tandra was woman enough to go ahead and, you know what I mean, back that thing up. Drop back down and say what you really mean. You lucky I gotta go. This is my hour. LaDawn, she ran, child. Tandra, why you run? Girl, stand on that shit. Why you run? Okay. Hey, here for Hot Tea. Shout out to any other content creators that was in the chat. Shout out to the cutie mods. I think they didn't handle their business because I can't find her nowhere. I'm gonna leave this chat open though, and I'm gonna scroll this phone all the way up once I leave. But LaDawn, you know I love you, me some you. To those of you that frequent my chat, I said this before. I'll say it again. Even with differences of opinions, the way that we conduct ourselves over here means the world to me. It really, really does. So shout out again to the cutie crew. Hey, Bravo for an awesome members only live last night. And don't say that, PDS. You may be on the payroll, chat. You can't love the hydration duo, the scrubs and the oil. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Okay. You don't take her at times, girl. This may not be what you want. But anyway, LaDawn, thank you so much, sis. I love me some you.
Ciao.
I gotta go. But if I get back, Deuce Johnson, okay, girl, where you at? If I get back early enough tonight, let me say this to Tandra. I'm gonna go ahead and play Aunt Debbie's theme song for Tandra. Tandra, this is how we get down over here, child.
I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. About none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Take your arse on. That's how we get down over here. But if I get home early enough tonight, we may have a late night live on the main YouTube page. Maybe Tandra come back then, chat. Maybe she'll come back then. Which is why I don't be showing out over here. Got to keep it cute. Oh, here for hot tea. I'm looking on the phone, but I see your comment. Look, sis, do you. That is the beauty of everything that I just mentioned. We all got our own views, personalities, styles, and all of that. Jenny B, you know that Chi-Town gonna come out, child. Ooh, child. And I promise you, anyway, but here for IT, keep doing you. Your style, your flow, all of that is how you rock and roll. Mine's is how I rock and roll. Everybody else's is how they rock and roll. But for the most part, from what I can see, I believe that everybody on the same damn team, but Tandra, child. But Tandra. So I gotta go. I love you guys. I will be chatting with you guys, as I mentioned, later tonight if it's not too late, but if not, tomorrow for sure. Join me for an evening live where everybody off work and we can talk and chit chat and all of the above. Also, if you have not hit the like button, please make sure to go ahead and hit that like button on your way out. Shout out to the Cuties, the Cutie Mods, and the Cutie Crew. Chat with you guys soon. Bye.
Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. With QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT.